Well, hello, my lovelies. It's Murky Meg here. It's Sunday, the 16th of February, and today we're going to talk about Harry and Meghan versus Trump and why things that have come out yesterday might just be getting a little bit tricky for Harry himself when it comes to President Trump. Now, it was only last week that President Trump himself ruled out courting Prince Harry. Now, this is due to the Heritage Foundation, who are alleging that under Biden's administration, his visa application has been sealed because it's not of the public interests and Harry deserves privacy. And they have claimed that the Homeland Security have concealed all of this because he either lied on his visa application and said he hasn't done drugs, or he told the truth and a visa was granted anyway when it shouldn't have been. This all came about because Harry released his silly book Spare and admitted that he's a regular drug user. Granted, what he uses at the moment is legal in the state that he resides in. But he also confessed to taking cocaine and psychedelic drugs, which are illegal. Silly little fool also admitted he did this while at Courtney Cox's house. I mean, he really is a fool. So anyway, the Heritage Foundation are gunning for Harry's visa to be made public, because they think that it's in the public interest and that they have a right to know whether or not he lied on his visa or whether or not the visa was granted and he told the truth. And if that's the case, they want to know why. Anyway, I digress. I just wanted to give you a little bit of backstory. And it was only last week that President Trump told the New York Post that he isn't interested in throwing Harry out of the country and that he says, "I don't want to do that," he said. "I'll leave him alone. He's got enough problems with his wife. She's terrible." He also described Harry as whipped, and he said, "I think poor Harry is being led around by the nose." On the back of that, while making a speech at the Invictus Games in Canada, Harry praised the veterans for their courage, values and humanity at a time when there is no shortage of crisis, no absence of uncertainty, no lack of weak moral character in the world. And a lot of people speculated that that was a rebuke because of what Donald Trump had said only a few days before. But it was only on Friday that a new piece from the New York Post has said that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry paying big bucks to Democratic operatives via their charity, sparking calls for a congressional investigation. Now, what they've said is that they have funneled hundreds of thousands of dollars to controversial political operatives through their charity, according to the documents reviewed by the Post. Harry and Meghan have been spending large sums of money on high-level Democratic Party aligned sources, according to public records, including hiring a disinformation expert who worked at the company involved in every high-profile US election since the 90s. Now, the New York Post says that the Archwell Foundation doled out $146,000 to Gio Craig in 2023. Now, she is an independent media strategist who has been called the Democrats' go-to for countering disinformation. Archwell also donated $25,000 to Macy Lab School in Brooklyn, where Craig joined the board in 2024. Archwell also gave her $120,000 in 2022. Now, this lady is a key political strategist, and her firm's websites boast how it helped Bill Clinton become president in 1992 and then helped our client's campaign win, govern and win again. What's also slightly worrying is one of the digital strategies during the last election was to counter narratives about Joe Biden's age and negative comments about his family, according to reports. Which is ironic, seeing as that they are champions of misinformation, or this company is supposed to be champions for misinformation, and they're hired to do that because Biden's health and age was a key factor in why he dropped out of the presidential race last year. And then this has led Niall Gardner. Now, he is part of the think tank, the Heritage Foundation, which I mentioned previously in this video, who are gunning to have Harry's visa opened up to see whether or not he lied on it. And he says that it needs to be scrutinised by Congress. He says that Harry and Meghan still retain royal titles and should not be engaging in any way in political activity. It's actually outrageous. And in 2023, Archwell gave $250,000 to Women's Wellness Space, a Pennsylvania-based charity set up by Ashley Biden, which she is the daughter of former President Biden. Now, unusually, a spokesperson for Harry and Meghan have told the Post it's important to note that the Duke and Duchess did not endorse any candidate in the 2024 presidential election, and to suggest they are trying to curry favour with the Democrat Party simply because a donation went to Ashley Biden's non-partisan non-profit focused on women's mental health, or because they hired a consultant specialised in digital safety, is misguided. The Duke and Duchess are committed to investing in people and initiatives that truly make a difference. Now remember, Harry and Meghan have been huge champions of this whole misinformation issue. I mean, Harry himself sits as a member of the Aspen Institute, and a lot of people have likened this to censorship. Misinformation and censorship are very, very closely aligned. Just because somebody says is not to your liking doesn't make it factually untrue, and if you try and claim it as misinformation, that is you trying to censor it. Let's not forget that it was only last week that I did a video that questioned whether or not Archwell had received US aid funds via Fidelity Investments, who are partners with Ethic, who advise wealthy clients on how to invest their money more sustainably. And they are impact partners for Ethic, who have connections with Fidelity. If you want to have a look at that video, I've popped a link in the right hand corner. Now, this might not be Harry and Meghan directly being involved in any political aspect of the election, but there are those tenuous links and threads that seem to be so muddled that, for me, it doesn't seem ethical. Why is Archwell, that is supposed to be a non-profit charity, hiring this type of person regarding misinformation? But everything changed last night when insiders claim that Trump says that he has vowed transparency and will back any legal action. Anyone lying about drug use on visa applications faces up to 5 years in jail, fine, or deportation. Now, it seems so strange to me that there is a whole juxtaposition against what President Trump said last week to what's now being reported. Again, it's muddied the water on whether or not, if it's been found that Prince Harry lied on his visa, whether President Trump will back any type of prosecution, deportation, or any investigation that will iron out what exactly has happened. Now, also, court documents have revealed that the judge that is actually overseeing this issue has now set a date for next Thursday, which is February the 20th, for the US government to state which legal documents related to the case can be disclosed with regards to Harry's visa. And it was only a couple of weeks ago that Judge Carlos Nichols told a hearing in Washington, D.C. that he wanted maximum disclosure as long as it doesn't violate privacy. So a date has been set for the US government to state which legal documents related to the case can be disclosed. After that, the judge says the court will determine what proportions of those materials can be produced to Heritage. So that is next Thursday, or this coming Thursday, the 20th of February. Now, this isn't going away for Harry. The Heritage Foundation are absolutely gunning for him. And now this information with regards to them using a misinformation specialist that aligns herself and has worked for the Democrats for many, 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 many years has muddled the water even more. And a lot of people are suspecting and speculating whether or not this information has possibly nudged President Trump to go, do you know what, let him have it. Now, like I said, Archwell say, no, it was nothing to do with the election. But the fact that Meghan and Harry have funneled hundreds of thousands of dollars into a controversial political operatives through their charity doesn't really sit right with myself and a lot of other people. And a lot of people are asking, what was this deal? What was the arrangement? Why did they need a misinformation specialist? And why did it have to be that one that has such close links to the Democrat Party? It just all seems a little bit icky to me. I don't know what you guys think. Now, remember that it was in 2021 that her and Harry flew to New York to meet prominent Democrats, including Governor Kathy Hochul and then Mayor Bill de Blasio. And then she and Harry also had a secret summit meeting video call with California Governor Gavin Newsom the same year. There was also reports in the previous election when Biden was going against Trump that she was campaigning and phoning people to make sure that they voted. But we all know that that wasn't just, oh, make sure you vote. It must have been, or it's in my opinion, they're making sure that they voted for the Democrats and not the Republicans. It came out because Gloria Steinem says that Meghan Markle was cold calling US voters ahead of the 2020 election. That was the video of her and Gloria sitting there chatting on the importance of voting. Now, it was during a Time 100 video message. Meghan called the presidential race the most important election of our lifetime. Harry also told viewers that this election I'm not able to vote in the US, but many of you may not know that I haven't been able to vote in the UK my entire life. As we approach this November, it's vital that we reject hate speech, misinformation, and online negativity. So there we have the direct link between misinformation and an election. Okay, that's making a little bit more clearer now, isn't it? Let me just state one thing. Harry and Meghan should not be getting involved in politics whatsoever while they hold their titles. While technically Harry is still a Councillor of State, which means that he can act on behalf of his father as the sovereign of the UK should anything happen. It's never going to happen, to be perfectly honest. Harry will never be called upon. It's easier to add more people than it is to remove them, and that's exactly what King Charles has done, kind of pushed him further down the line, because he added Princess Anne and Prince Edward, the Duke of Edinburgh. That happened in November 2022, and it was often speculated that Anne and Edward were added to kind of push Harry and Prince Andrew down the list so they would never really be called upon. But this is just muddying the waters with regards to the connections with elections and Harry and Meghan. There's no direct link as such. Like I said, the threads are there, but there's no tangible evidence. It's just all a bit murky. And a lot of people are speculating that because this has now come out that they hired this misinformation specialist that's connected to the Democrat Party, and that's why Trump has then given a nod to his sources saying, well, do you know what? If it comes out that Harry has lied on his visa or has been protected, then something will have to be done about that. I'm interested to know your thoughts on whether or not you think that this is particularly true, or do you think that Trump will actually just go, do you know what, leave him alone? And he said it last week, leave him alone, leave him be, he's got enough problems. Or whether or not, if it turns out that Harry has been given special treatment, whether something will take action. A lot of people have noted that they don't think Trump would do that because he wouldn't want to upset King Charles, because he has a very good relationship with the royal family. Can you see how muddled and murky this is all? Because it's not straight cut. He keeps chopping and changing. But one thing is for sure, Harry needs to be extremely worried right now, because as of Thursday, we might well know whether or not he did something on his visa that he shouldn't have done, or whether or not he has been given special treatment. Or we might know that's the start of it, because the judge can say, let's release the documents, or what can and can't be released to the Heritage Foundation. It's going to be a very interesting time, isn't it? As always, I would love to know your thoughts.
Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.